Okay, those of you at home, you had this posted in Seesaw. Ours looks a little different because we actually cut and glue them in our math notebook. You guys are just writing the definition in Seesaw. So what we want to do is we're going to start with multiplication and go over that definition.
I didn't do it like that.
That's okay, just write it out to the side or on the back of the notebook paper. Okay, multiplication is the process of finding the total number of items in two or more equal groups. Okay, so I'll give you a second to get that written down. So equal groups, you will hear me say that a lot, and that's what we're going to practice today, is making equal groups and writing the multiplication number sentence that goes with it. The process of finding the total number of items in two or more. Okay, the next one is factor. Factors are the numbers you multiply together to get a product. So an example.
I did it in that order. Factor is under where it's actually supposed to be.
So the 3 and the 2 are factors in this multiplication problem. Factors are the numbers you multiply. Okay, now for a product. Underneath this flap we are writing the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Okay, so still using the same number sentence. 3 times 2 equals 6. 6 would be your product. Okay, for multiple, we were saying it is kind of like a factor. I mean, not a factor, a product, because it has to do with the answers to a multiplication problem. So multiple is a number that is the product of 2 factors. So for example, if I'm doing 6 times 1 and I get 6, 6 is a multiple. 6 times 2 and I get 12. 12 is also a multiple. 6 times 3, I get 18. 18 is a multiple. And then 6 times 4, I get 24. That is a multiple also. So these are all the multiples of 6. There are more, but we just stopped at the fourth one. Okay? So multiples are answers to 2 factors.
So it's basically like odd or even numbers like.
Well, these just happen to be even. We actually need to talk about that because we struggle with even and odd on our power quiz. So even, these are all even, and how do I know that? I'm just going. You don't have to write this. Even numbers
It's like 2, 4, 6, right?
have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 in the ones place. Some of you guys were saying on your power quiz, these are all even, but you weren't looking at the ones place, you were looking at the tens place, okay? So when you're trying to decide if a number is even or odd, you have to only look at the ones place. Even numbers have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. This has a 6 in the ones, 2, 8, and 4. So these are all even numbers, okay? So back to multiples. Multiples of 6, if I asked you what are the multiples of 6, you would list all of the numbers that you can multiply and get an answer to. So you would say 6, 12, 18, and 24 are multiples of 6. Okay? So these are multiples of 6.
I get it. So 6 plus 6 equals 12, and 12 equals 18. 18 equals.
Okay? So that is your vocabulary for today. Now we're going to practice doing equal groups. Okay, so what we were saying for multiplication is it is 2 or more equal groups. So that's what we're going to be practicing now. I want you to make equal groups as I call them out. So those of you at home, if you have some type of object you can do for equal groups, if you don't, then you can just draw it on paper on your dry erase mat. We're using these tiles here at school, but if you have cereal, beans, marbles, beads, any type of thing that you can have more than 10 or 15 of to make groups, that's what we're doing here at school. Okay, so multiplication is equal groups. So the first one I want you to do is make 3 groups of 4. 3 groups of 4. And we're going to do the first one together just so you get the hang of it. Now if I say 3 groups of 4, I'm going to make 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. Okay. There's my 4 groups. So 3 groups of 4. So that means I have 3 groups. And now what do I need to do to each group? Kelsey?
Get 3. So.
Put 3 more in it?
Yes.
Good. So put 3 more in it, she said. So this is the 3 groups of 4. There's 1 group of 4.
So basically one of these blocks are basically 4 now.
Okay.
I stacked them. Is that good? Can I stack them?
I would not stack them because you want to be able to see how many there are in all, because that's what multiplication is. Okay? Now, on your dry erase board or your dry erase mat at home, I want you to write the number sentence that this would be. Okay? So, for example, if I do 3 groups of 4, what do you think my number sentence would be? Anybody have a guess? Kelsey?
4 times, 3 times 3 equals.
3. You got the 3 right. I said 3 groups of 4. Okay, so my 2 factors are 3 and 4. Now when you get to the multiplication sign, that's where you say groups of. So all this multiplication sign means is groups of. I have 3 groups of 4. Now, how would I get my answer? If I don't know 3 times 4 yet, because I'm just learning, what would I do with my groups here? With these tiles that we made? What do you think, Kaylee? How would I get my product? Could I just count all of these tiles? Yes. So I have 4 plus 4 plus 4. What's 4 plus 4? 8 plus 4? 12. Okay. What do we call this number at the end? Product. What do we call these two numbers? Starts with an F. Javea? Not fact family. Javea, do you know? Factors. Okay. Now on your dry erase board, we're going to practice repeated addition. Repeated addition just means you're adding the same number over and over again. So if I look at my groups, what did we add over and over again to get our answer? 4. We said 4 plus 4 plus 4. So that's repeated addition. 4 plus 4 plus 4. Okay? We call that repeated addition because we're adding the same thing over and over again. So those are the 2 strategies we're talking about today. Making equal groups and doing repeated addition. Okay? So when I give you 2 factors, you should be able to tell me that is 3 groups of 4, 5 groups of 6, okay? And then you should be able to give me the repeated addition sentence by the end of today. This should be super easy for y'all, okay? Now let's go on to another one. I want you to make 5 groups of 2. Tell me what your answer is and then write the repeated addition. 5 groups of 2 with your manipulatives. Okay, let's look at what your groups would look like for 5 times 2. We would read this as 5 groups of 2. So I need to make 5 groups. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, and then I have 2 in each group. Okay, there's 5 groups of 2. So what would our product be, class? How many tiles do we have in all? Aaliyah? 10. So that's your product. Now for repeated addition, what number would I add up over and over again based off these groups that I see? What do you think, Gregory? What would I add up over and over again?
Maybe what you would add up all over. 2.
2. Good. So I have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Five 2s, right? And I should get the same answer. Okay? All right, now I'm going to give you the number sentence. And you need to show me the groups and the repeated addition. Okay? So your number sentence is, let's see, 3 times 6. What would the groups look like for 3 times 6? And what would your repeated addition look like for 3 times 6? Don't forget to also write your product on your dry erase mat or dry erase board. Okay, I'm walking around the room and I see great things, so I'm going to show you what we have going on here. They were telling me that 3 times 6 is 3 groups of 6. So I need to start with 3 groups, right? And then put 6 in each of those groups. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's 3 times 6. Now to get my answer, I can count all these up. I can also use repeated addition. So if you wrote your repeated addition sentence, it should be 6 plus 6 plus 6, because that's what we see, right? We see groups of 6. We wouldn't add up 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, because I don't see groups of 3, I see groups of 6. Now if I counted all of these, you should have gotten 18. And what do we call this number?
The factor.
Not the factor. Product. Good. Okay, we're going to do one more with the tiles, and then we're going to take away the tiles, because that is just to introduce and to get you started on multiplication. But eventually, we're going to have to do it without these. We're going to have to use just paper and pencil. Okay? So your last one is, let's see. 2 times 7. 2 times 7. Show me what that would look like. And then write your repeated addition and your products. Okay, so we're going to show you what that would look like. I'm going to do it without my tiles this time and show you how I would just do it without any type of manipulative. I would use paper and pencil, and I would do 2 groups of 7. So I would have 2 circles, or whatever you want to draw to represent 2 groups, and I would put 7 in each group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's one group of 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 groups of 7, I would write 7 plus 7 for my repeated addition. And to get my answer, I would add up how many I see in all, which is how many, class?
14.
14. Good. So 14 is my what? What do we call this?
Your product.
Product. Good. We don't just say answer, we say product. Okay. Same thing here. Your answer would still be 14. And what do we call these 2 numbers, Aaliyah? Factors. Good. Okay, so what we're going to do next, those of you at home and here in class have the same assignment. We're going to take those tiles away now, and you have to make equal groups just like I just showed you. Here's an example at the top. It says 5 times 7 can be read as 5 groups of 7, what we just practiced. We can draw this by making equal groups. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. And how many dots do you think are in each of these groups? 7. Okay, so we would draw 5 groups of 7. And now you're going to be doing that for all of these number sentences down at the bottom. Make sure you include your product right here at this space. Okay? Now, how would I find my product? What did we do to find our product for all of those groups that we made?
We did a.
Go ahead.
We did a we group, I forgot what it's called, but we added the after
We added them all up?
No.
Or can we count all of these dots to know our answer?
Yes.
Yes, you can count all the dots. You can add them all up using repeated addition. But whatever you do, make sure that you put your product down here. Okay? All right, you guys at home, good luck. I look forward to seeing your work. I know you will do a great job. And I will see you guys soon.